It seems like my video ideas are all dried up. Or maybe they aren't. So, Powerade, and my relationship with Powerade. Like all romances, this romance started off with a very vivid memory that we can both look at fondly and laugh about. You see, as a small child, I went to Sam's Club with my mom and my dad, and we went ahead and went to the food court. At this food court, I would typically, just kind of get a pizza slice and a cup for water and just go about my day. But this day, I decided that I was gonna also get a drink. And this was huge because I didn't like carbonated or caffeinated drinks, and I was also kind of unfamiliar with what that drink machine held. I only had to cross my fingers and hope that the right drink would be sitting there, ready for my consumption. And so I went ahead and I got my drink cup and I started looking through the options. But as I went through option by option by option, everything seemed to be carbonated or caffeinated or some absurd mixture of the two. Diet Coke, what are you even doing? And so I felt lost. I felt like, oh man, there's just nothing here that's right for me, nothing that fits me. And then I saw it. I locked eyes with that label, which has changed since then, and I saw it. And I asked my dad, is that carbonated? And he said no. And I asked my dad, is that caffeinated? And he said, I don't think so. And I went ahead and I chose it. I reached out my cup and I took that chance of trying that drink. And when I tried it, I knew that I had found the one for me. It was this perfect mixture of this kind of berry flavor, but also this very refreshing, electrolyte-filled mixture that just made my heart soar. It was something that was irreplaceable, something that could never, ever find its match. And yet, there it was, right there for me. Mountain Berry Blast Powerade. And so I had that cup of Powerade, and I had another, and I brought yet another home with me because I knew that this was the drink that I was going to see to the ends of the earth because it was the drink that was made for me. Now the problem was, the only places that I could get this holy drink that was made for me was in theme parks, through their souvenir cups, and in that Sam's Club. And so whenever me and my dad would go to a theme park, we would get the souvenir cup because it kind of came with the season pass. Plus, there's no better way to beat the heat than to drink something that's nice and cool. And so we went ahead and we went to the theme parks, and I started to really get to know Powerade. Over those days, I would have 6, 7, maybe even 8 of those 32-ounce souvenir cup drinks, most of them with not even ice to water down the experience. And I grew to truly love those fine things about Powerade, those little details that you don't really notice the first time. I also started to learn how fake the Powerade Zeros were and how wrong their sweeteners tasted. And I learned and recommitted to the Powerade that is truly wonderful, this Mountain Berry Blast Powerade. I don't want no fruit punch. I don't need the lemon lime, the grape, or anything else. I just want my Mountain Berry Blast Powerade because that is the pinnacle of the drinking experience. I mean, what other drink can have that beautiful blueberry kind of flavor, but also have so many electrolytes packed into it? It's just an absolutely amazing experience. And so I started kind of going steady with Powerade. we would, on these trips, I would be able to see Powerade pretty much every day, getting my cups in every day and having a great time while I was doing it. When I was with Powerade, I was truly happy. Those were moments of pure bliss. But the problem with this was I eventually had to leave that beautiful summer of Powerade and go back to school. Our relationship had to become long distance because we could no longer see each other on that daily basis that I had grown to love so much. And so, even though I would sometimes be able to bring Powerade over and show it to my friends and be like, hey guys, have you tried Powerade? Have you met them? And they'd be like, oh yeah, we know, but they're not that great. And I'd be like, excuse you? Powerade is the best drink that has ever existed, and how dare you say anything different? It got to the point where my obsession and love for Powerade was so great that I could consume a full 32 ounces in under 45 seconds. I had this timed just so that I could prove myself and my dedication to my one and only true drink love of Powerade. Alas, it was a long-distance relationship, and in those long school years, I started really wanting Powerade's attention again. I desperately wanted to be able to have that beautiful blue drink back in my life, but we could only see each other so few times. And so my dad, seeing the despair that I had for my lack of Powerade, decided to try and give us a temporary solution. Something that would give me the experience of Powerade and let us be together at least a little bit, if not fully. And so we implemented powdered Powerade. And powdered Powerade I would use whenever I had a night practice. I would go ahead and mix it up, or one of my parents would mix it up, and we would go ahead and have it there. And it was good, it was great, don't get me wrong, but it just wasn't the same. I needed that beautiful, perfectly mixed flavor that Powerade can only have in fountain or bottled form. And this powdered relationship just wasn't working for me. But I got through it, and although I despaired, and I really did treasure those times that I was able to get the real, true Powerade, I had started in my mind to realize that maybe this relationship was doomed. Maybe going into college, it just wouldn't work. We'd have to say goodbye. It would be the end of a beautiful relationship, but it was necessary. And so I began composing my letter to Powerade, saying thank you for all those wonderful times that we've had. You've been absolutely incredible in each and every one of them. But my heart cannot take the stress of being separated from you for such a long time. I just can't take it. It's like poison, because whenever I see you, it's the best thing in the world, but then everything else in comparison is just knives and daggers and hellish monsters, because they're not you. And just as I was preparing to hit send, we went ahead and we looked into my new college's cafeteria. And who was there? Who could it be but Blue Powerade standing right there in the drink machine of my main food court? Just a few steps away from my room was Powerade. We were finally together. We would finally be together forever. I looked at Powerade and I had a tear slowly roll down my face. Powerade, you came through. You actually did it. You came and you met me halfway. You are truly the best drink I've ever had. And so now, we are together at all times. Not only do I have the machine right downstairs. But for when I need it, not at meals, we have it in bottles that I can get at vending machines across campus. Me and Powerade will never be separated again because we are truly a match made in heaven.